Alright people, welcome back. So, since I can't have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 until at least Monday, at the earliest now, the tracking first told me that I was supposed to get it one day late, which would have been today, Saturday, and then now it turns out that I won't be getting it today at all. It will be hopefully Monday if they don't delay it any further. Anyway, so people, I'm gonna be playing something else and short games in the interval. This was the channel's 5th anniversary today, and this is it turns out that this is also game number 300, a nice round number that I will be streaming in full from beginning to end for the channel. So I've got a choice of scenarios. Spawn, locked. Nah, I don't know. It might be a chapter select more than a scenario select, I guess. Commentary volume, effects volume, music volume. Nah, I don't want to change any of that. The game might be a bit too loud though, because this is Wii U, not PS3, so the volume might have to go down a bit. Yes, I wanted to get some coffee before I got started as well. I'll be right back. Alright people, I'm here now. Had leftover coffee from last night, but it was gone cold already. I had to heat it up. Right, okay. Let's get started. I got this game, I think it was in the Humble Bundle. Or no, probably not, no. It was heavily discounted or something. The program was a failure. People forget this. It was a massive flop. The coder started adding name strings to the aisles as a joke. Thomas 8 C23 612 wasn't special. It was just an AI. Blah 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 blah.
Thomas was alone. Wow, a weird first thought to have.
Okay, A jumps, B jumps. And you can use the D-pad or the control stick. .2.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
Yeah, my microphone is acting up a bit. Testing. Uh-oh. Testing. Seems to be working okay now. Ah, you can look around by using the right stick. Uh-huh. I wonder if I jump over the portal and try to keep going the other way. 0.3. What is that exactly?
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump. It worked! Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery.
Okay.
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
Yay! Made the jump. Ah, water.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose.
Okay. Water,
This all
not
seemed
good.
A little dangerous.
But I wanted to try.
The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Paranoia.
Okay. Yeah, well. As long as you don't backtrack.
Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important.
0.6, it said. Is that his level of discovery of the world?
But Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No, too obvious.
Pass through respawn points to save a character's progress.
Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He made another mental note. 4. Water, not wood, to be avoided.
Judging by their smells, some other people have come to that conclusion, I noticed.
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
Ah, okay. Too long of a jump. Think it's that way. Okay. 0.10.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
I submitted hundreds of bug reports. I told that idiot this would happen. Overlapping scripts. More than one AI was bound to be spawned into an environment at some point. Turns out I missed a point. The little error changed everything. Touch the screen to scroll characters.
Immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
This one can't jump as high. Hello? No, it's just neighbors trying to break down the walls again. Hello? Who are you? Ah, but yeah. One is a square, the other is a rectangle. Yeah, you have to fit them through their respective holes.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not actually. Not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
I'm coming to help you, Chris. Chris the square. There. Damn, what are they doing? Breaking down the walls. The sound effects remind me a little bit of the Bit Trip series.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him? Great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
Yeah, they really have to help one another here. Okay.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him.
I can't jump if I have Chris on my...
Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
You can move while carrying someone else, but you can't jump anymore then. They're a little buoyant like this. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, Thomas is a bit more floaty. Okay.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
Well, the square is the only one who can fit down there. Is that where his exit is? Both their exits are down there. Okay, and I guess Thomas has to be coming from above. It's not gonna come any closer, this thing. A new dude!
John knew. He
John.
knew that this was his chance. A moment to shine. This was game day.
How's poor little Square gonna do it, though? Okay. Like this.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. He was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where did they come from, anyway?
Hey ya, RNG! Happy 5th anniversary! Thank you! How are you today?
John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use, time to show those little dots how it was done.
Can he, like, let himself fall on the side or something to help the others? You're awake and hungry. Okay, water, not good for John. Whee! Whee!
John decided to press the switch to let the little dots catch him. John cared for his new allies. You could tell from the sympathetic expression he practiced in the mirror all these years.
I wonder if there exists a multiplayer version of this. Wait a minute. Thomas can move while carrying the other... well, yeah, no, they all can. Silly me. Come on, John. Multiplayer would be chaos, but it's supposed to be about cooperation, so... yeah, poor Thomas will not be able to fit through. Okay, hold on. Yeah, like this. Okay, and there we go. Well, we're gonna need John It's never cooperative. Someone somewhere must rage.
John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys.
Okay. Come on, people, help each other. Ah, no, not good. John! Yeah, you can't make it.
He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped.
Come on, everyone. Come on, Thomas.
The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
Okay, are we all there? Are we all here? No, don't leave without me. Come on, John. Okay. Like so. Alright. 1.10.
This was interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph. Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep
Okay. Okay, I have to do it that way. Like this. Well, this was not too complicated. The initial group possessed simple variations in size and strength. More complex configurations were inevitable as the era spread. These variations became increasingly extreme.
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually. She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like Her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order.
She's feeling blue.
The crumbling pillar was a dramatic death, she supposed. Wait, what? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realized she had superpowers. She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero.
Damn, really -5 charisma.
Confusion. If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication. And, you know, floating in water, which was her superpower.
Yeah, these jumps might be a bit complicated for John, so let's have Claire carry him. There.
Right. Fear not, my skinny friends, for I am Claire, and I will save you. Claire needed to come up with a superhero name as soon as possible.
Okay, they slide a little bit because of the momentum. Okay. Okay. All right, Claire. Oh, about co-op.
Claire arrived just in time.
Ouch.
Which was, of course, the perfect moment for...
What was that you were about to say?
Claire arrived just in time. Which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
Ah. Water is rising.
As the water began to rise, Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took.
I'm gonna save you, little rectangle.
Claire wondered if Thomas would make a good sidekick. Or was she more the lone Avenger type? She liked that. The sole hero in a world of rectangles and conveniently placed pools of toxic water.
Okay, they're not giving me many levels where they have to act on all together so far. Boing, boing, boing. I know, it's not gonna work.
The others told Claire that staircases were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
Well, I guess Chris could have hopped on her back or something. He's not really needed to progress here. Oh. Hold on, Chris. There. Ah, but she can't jump if Chris is on her back. Okay, well. Like this. Alright. $2.6.
Probably needed a nemesis. A villain who would show their true colours at the worst possible moment, hurting all she held dear.
Okay, yeah, and there's a switch on the
This
other
was the
side.
obvious choice.
And it's probably for the shortest of them to do
His
so.
job was so
No?
pathetic that it conveniently avoided Claire's insecurities. Yes, Chris. Diabolical Chris. The fiendish Christopher.
Oh, wait a minute. Because I was gonna say, maybe you need to... Ah, crap. Land on her to make her go down a bit more and then squeeze through with Chris. What do you know? But Chris is sliding. I don't know if I can make it across without losing Chris. Oh, no, okay. If I try to jump, he slides down to the side. Okay, hold on. But yeah, but I can take control of Chris anyway to readjust him. If there was any need. Okay, well, I made it. I made it through. Hooray! Okay, that was my fault. Made it through.
Wait. Where had Chris gone? Was he off somewhere? Plotting Claire's downfall? Claire was honest. And she had to be because she was a superhero. This was a troubling turn of events. Still, there were reasonably sized bodies of water to cross.
Well, if it's all there is to it, it's gonna be pretty straightforward this time. How about Claire? Oh, yeah, okay. I was gonna say she can't follow. Okay. There's Claire's exit. There's John and Thomas.
Moving platforms over water, eh? Claire's newly heightened senses told her that there were multiple
Hey, it's
paths
slippery.
to cross with various possible configurations of the little posse.
I wonder if they just made everything at an angle like this, just to make things more interesting. Because otherwise the design of the game would have been a bit more bland, I guess.
They were doing really well. Claire hoped she could get them all across. John was fully aware he could do this alone. Thomas hoped he'd never have to.
Okay, Claire. Boom. And there we go. Our 3 heroes made it across. Oh, Claire is by herself again.
Claire was alone, which was odd, because she wasn't meant to be alone. She needed to be where there were rectangles to save. Being the only superhero in a given space kind of defeats the object. Spikes? That was new. Claire avoided them. She decided they were most likely her kryptonite. Not the rubbish red kryptonite either, the proper radioactive green stuff.
Alright. 2.10. Ah, there's a rectangle to save. Hop on, Thomas.
Wow. Deja vu.
Ah, no, never mind. Thought
The world was repeating. And this time Thomas was here. Claire felt something had gone
Ah, no, yeah, she can't stand on the spikes, of course.
Disturbance in the force. Something had altered the matrix.
Something has altered the
world was
matrix.
reacting to their progress. It was amassing its forces. It was plotting against them.
We're doing movie references now.
Finally had a nemesis.
Ah, but no. Ah. Oof, okay, there's barely enough room to fit. Well, they're almost there. But I'm gonna have to repeat the same thing with another character every time. Another shape to carry across. I know, never mind. It's different this time. I built protections into the system. When overlaps occurred, the world generated a splitter to remove the unwanted additionals. It's like a white blood cell. It investigates, it captures, and it removes from play. Hey, who's this?
Laura.
Laura.
Was pleased this one was behind the wall. Maybe he'd never know what she could do. Maybe they could just have a conversation. Hang out. As long as he didn't find out what she could do. Which would never happen so long as they stayed separate.
And now they won't be separate anymore.
Laura didn't have time to worry about the ominous pixel cloud. It had been following her for some time, and it had kept itself to itself until now. More important was the little orange thing, which was looking at her in a way that
You can bounce off Laura.
liked.
Ah, okay. She's like a little trampoline.
As the square, who had shyly introduced himself as Chris, bounced atop Laura, she began to worry that he was just using her like all the others had. They'd all bounced too, and then they disappeared when her back was turned. ominous pixel cloud ever remains, looking a little bigger and a little less hungry with every disappearing friend. With every bounce, Laura found herself less and less irritated by Chris. She started to miss him when he wasn't there, on another platform or something.
Wait. Okay. There you go, Chris. Alright.
He'd wonder what he was up to. Was he missing her? He wasn't saying very much.
Okay, there we go.
Chris was in love. She was perfect. He had to tell her so. At some point, he would definitely tell her. Probably best to wait for a moment the large, ominous pixel cloud wasn't about, though. Yeah, probably best to wait.
Well, he could be riding on... no, not riding on her back, I guess, because he'd be bouncing all over the place. Mm-hmm. 3.6. Hey! Boing, boing. No. I thought they had to bounce off of one another, but maybe not.
Chris was massively disappointed to run into the gang again. He'd enjoyed the alone time with his new girlfriend.
Boing, boing. Okay. How is John gonna do it, though? I guess Thomas is gonna have to press the switch. Ah, it's Chris's turn.
Was it too early to refer to Laura as his girlfriend? Only if I say it out loud.
Hey, Panda, how's it going?
You didn't want to scare her off.
What's gonna happen to Laura? She can't stay behind like this. Ah, no, this is not gonna work. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I can't look around. Oh yeah, but silly me, John can jump further. Okay. It's John's turn. Well, there we go. Everyone's in place.
The others seemed suspicious of Laura, and the eager-looking pixel cloud of death which seemed to be watching her. Sure, they'd use her inherent bounciness to reach slightly higher jump points, but they wouldn't strike up a conversation with her. Chris found them rude. Rude? And always there.
Yeah, but this is not gonna work. Okay. Because I still need to free Chris. There are multiple switches, and I guess I have to figure out the right one, unless... But it's always going to be the one that's right underneath, or so, something like that. Okay, Chris, we're almost there. You will soon be free from your prison. Come on. Okay. Alright. He has to help her across. Alright, and then there's Chris left.
The others wouldn't drop it. Who's that cloud guy? Why is he following us? What's that rumbling hungry sound he keeps making? Chris, can we just leave Laura behind?
I don't see how I'm gonna bring Laura along anyway. Gonna have to figure something out.
Rude.
Okay, what did that do? But yeah, no, she could be riding these. Okay. I may have to leave her on... Ah, no, never mind. Maybe they can all go. There's him left. Hey, where's Claire, by the way? Where is Claire? Okay, what's gonna happen to her? Orange. So maybe she could do it if Thomas was down there. Okay, Laura. Make room. Nah, no. How am I gonna do this? Um... Is there a switch somewhere that I didn't see or something? I really don't see how I'm gonna do this. Ah, but no, okay, hold on. Nah, it's silly me, it's my fault. Come down here, Thomas. There we go. Okay, am I gonna be able to jump here, though? Ooh, okay. Don't know if this was intentional, but... Well, as long as it worked. No, wait, hold on. Chris needs help. Beep boop. Beep boop. It's making funny little noises. There is input lag, definitely. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna wait for them to line up. That's it, we have all 5. Whee! I know. Not gonna work. We have a switch. Okay, Chris. It's up to you.
Laura liked her new gang. She liked Chris. She liked having friends. These ones seem to be sticking around too. Not like those losers from before.
Don't leave Chris behind! Ah! This is not good. Okay, from the beginning.
Laura liked her new gang. She liked Chris. She liked having friends. These ones seem to be sticking around too. Not like those losers from before.
Okay. Ooh, no. Okay. You have to line them up. Okay,
liked her new gang. She liked Chris. She liked having friends. These ones seem to be sticking around too. Not like those losers from before.
Ah! My fault. It's a bit cramped. There's not a lot of space on Claire's back. And Laura's bounciness is creating issues.
Laura liked her new gang.
Yeah.
She liked Chris. She liked having friends. These ones seem to be sticking around too. Not like those losers from before.
I'm gonna line them up the best I can. Although I guess I have a little bit of time left to do so afterwards. Are they gonna be okay? No, oof, okay. I don't know, maybe like that? No. Or I guess if Claire got out of the water, yeah. Okay. Okay, everyone got its exit. 3.10.
The pixel cloud was getting closer. It was spending more and more time hovering around.
Ouch.
It was making the others uncomfortable.
Yeah, wait for the spikes to go by. Boring, boring. No. And I'm probably gonna need at least Thomas to get by here. Claire is in the way. Need to rearrange them a little. Okay. But oh! Come on, Claire. All right. All right, that leaves Thomas. And it's bound to become more complicated, I guess. No simulation can support too many entities. At a certain point, something has to give. If Thomas AT-23-612 hadn't possessed those exact personality traits, it's likely the story would have ended there. Would still be in business.
Thomas did not like the cloud. He'd long since stopped listing his observations, but he instinctively observed that this thing was bad. And he'd been right about the water.
Yeah, Claire is gonna need Laura to bounce off of. Yeah, Laura is gonna need Thomas and Chris again. Okay, and then I think the rest can manage. Okay. Need her here, need her here. Like so. Okay, Claire. Thomas.
Thomas could tell Chris was in love, and that was fantastic and everything, but that didn't mean they could let the doom cloud keep following them. Thomas was going to put his foot down once they got to the next level.
Oh no, they're gonna fight. Is there anything further up? Hold on. No, there isn't. But yeah, like this. Silly me. Hey! That doom cloud got Thomas. It took Thomas.
Chris. Miss Thomas. Wow. Did not see that coming. He felt a little guilty too. Without his love for Laura and subsequent reunion with the guys, Thomas would probably still be with them.
not gonna work. Ah, but no, I know what I had to do. There we go. Ah, but no. Ah. Okay, this is becoming a bit complicated. Let's try it again. Ah, it's difficult. Ah! Come on! Frustrating. Ah, okay. Come on, make it across this time. Ah, okay. What did that do? Could he fit through there? Or not? No. Nah, he couldn't. Okay, well, this one seems to be where he should be. How is Claire gonna make it to her exit point, though? Ah! Okay. Not gonna happen. Okay, oof. Don't know if this was the intended way, but... Yeah, all Claire has to do is hop, and then they can all get out. There. Oh no, Chris!
Chris wondered if Thomas was still alive somewhere.
That reminds me a little bit of VVVVV here. No, it's VVVVVV. 6 Vs.
He wasn't going to go looking for him.
Did I stream VVVVVV? I can't recall if I did. Should probably do that one of these days.
Probably.
Ah, well, that's it. He got devoured as well. Wherever Thomas is, I guess Chris is going to join him. 4.5.
Maybe the others hadn't abandoned Laura all that time ago. It began to dawn on her that she might not be the tragic victim she'd always assumed.
I want to jump off of Claire, but the game isn't really letting me. Because you can't jump unless you're standing on her, but because she's bouncing around like this... Nah, it's a bit complicated. Okay, how about like that? Yay! There we go. Okay, what did that do? Okay, there's an exit. How am I going to proceed? Now it's Claire who's going to need a ride, no? Come on, yellow guy. Okay. I did not expect that. Okay, yellow guy, do it one more time. Sorry, it's John. Don't know what that's gonna do. Ah, okay, there we go.
Been the bait. She had a hunch that she wasn't needed anymore.
Okay, Claire can float. John is a little bit too much on the edge here. Okay. Okay, we're good girls. Ah no, Laura got devoured.
John looked at Claire. It was just them now. She muttered something under her breath about a vow of vengeance. He didn't see the point. Fighting that thing seemed to be a pretty futile idea.
Ah, no. Claire, wait for me! Okay, John, wait here. Yellow switch again. Alright, this is gonna drain all of the water. There we go. I wonder if people speedrun this. I could imagine that being a speedrun kind of game. Being able to juggle with all the different shapes, I guess. Fast enough. Ah! I lost John. No, John! You can't die! I'll be all alone if you do. Yeah, and those spikes are moving very slowly. Okay.
As they struggled to get to the next portal, John hoped that he would be the next to get eaten.
No! I wasted too much time. But you have to rush. There is no choice. Okay. Whoa.
As they struggled to get to the next portal, John hoped that he would be the next to get eaten. He didn't want to be alone.
Okay. No! John is alone.
For the first time in a while, John...
Yeah, the water is rising here.
For the first time in a while, John didn't have an audience. He was alone. Leaping from black square to black square didn't seem nearly as exciting now. It just seemed Empty.
I wonder if the black cloud is the designers of the software trying to get rid of these rogue AIs or something. Okay, okay, never mind. Okay, wait for it here.
John gulped. He knew he'd never escape. He knew who was waiting for him. He decided to jump the massive scary gaps. For old time's sake.
No, there's nothing that way. Quickly before it moves again. There we go. No! I need to wait for them to sort of combine their movements conveniently enough. Shit. Yeah, this one always seems to leave at the worst possible moment. Huh. Or do I have to jump before this one stops moving? Because it makes me hop a little and then I'm not in control anymore. I'm trying, but as it is moving upward, it's not letting me move. Or do I have to jump down here? No. I'm dead. Goodbye, John. No, it is up here. It's just a tricky jump, I guess. No, if the platform is moving upward and I press the jump button, nothing happens. So it has to be when it stops moving, but by then it's too late, unless... Unless you have to jump towards the next platform before it's here. Like, anticipate it coming back. John is floaty enough, I guess, that this could work. No. No, I don't even seem to jump high enough. Oh, I'm not sure what to do here. Nah, he doesn't jump high enough. It's impossible. Is there a yellow switch somewhere that I have to press or something? Hey, don't tell me I'm gonna have to look up the solution to this. It didn't seem like the kind of game that would force me to look up the solution online. Come on, John. Because he's Long John. Okay, this is becoming too frustrating. I'm gonna look it up. Thomas was alone. Jump. John. What's this level again? Which level is this? 4? 4 something? You will only have access to John again. Jump up the moving platform above and then over the ledge to the right. Continue climbing on the moving platform above quickly to avoid being hit by the spikes, and over the tiny ledge on the left hand side wall. Jump onto the moving spike platform on the right. Wait until the spikes on the right have risen up and jump through the gap to hit the checkpoint. Continue right and drop down through the opening spike chute to find another checkpoint. Wait, what? But no. Jump up through the platforms and over the upper platform on the right. Continue to the right to find the exit square. But it doesn't work. Really? Hold on, there's a video. Yeah, hold on, I don't want to spoil myself. Don't go too far. Yeah, this I've already seen. I think that's it. Okay, I'm looking at the chapter here to see how they do it. Well, it's true that I do forget that he is very floaty, so I guess I could jump to the right indeed. And is that what you have to do? The guy is struggling too, apparently. I'm not alone, then. I'm not the only one to find that jump to be tricky. All this time, this guy is trying too, and... Oh, okay, never mind. He finally made it. Okay, yeah, but so that this jump is possible, but just not very easy. You really do have to jump at the very edge of the platform as it moves up. Come on, man. Yeah, because of that friggin' input lag, I tried to hit the button as soon as I see it hitting the edge of the platform to get the full length of my jump. Okay, never mind. But it was a bit finicky. Ah, well, there we go. They all got devoured. The initial 5 are usually given the credit for the emergence. People forget the later architects and the AIs who made the event possible. They saved Thomas and set him on the path to his destiny. Historian, author of Paradigm Shift. Oh, what? Gravity is reversed for this guy? Who is this? James.
Always been different. I'm not different in that kooky. OMG, you've totally got to meet my mate James, who's literally insane.
I like James already. Ah! Okay. Yeah, It doesn't look hard, but the fact that it's upside down is already messing with my brain. He's like an upside down Thomas, I guess. Sort of. Oh.
He'd not seen anyone else in a long time. Not since getting eaten by that cloudy, pixely thing. He turned up here in some kind of cage.
Ah. Okay. There was a switch. I was supposed to stay there.
He'd not seen anyone else in a long time. Not since getting eaten by that cloudy, pixely thing. He turned up here in some kind of cage. He'd gotten out, but it had taken a long time.
.3. Or are those versions of the software, maybe, or something? Microphone is acting up again. Testing. Okay. It was only coming out of one speaker.
No one to insult him, question his unique disregard for Newtonian laws. Hey Jimmy, where are you going?
Disregard for Newtonian laws, idiots. Ah, there's Thomas. Yo, Thomas.
The little red guy looked confused. His cage was a lot smaller than James's had been. James decided to find a way to help. Maybe they'd be friends.
There, that's Thomas Freed, I guess.
Thomas had no idea why he was here. One minute he was with his friends, the next he was being freed from a cage by a green guy with a nervous laugh.
With a nervous laugh.
He knew he had to get back to them.
.6.
His turquoise hero seemed uncomfortable. Thomas imagined he'd feel the same way if he fell upwards all the time. But he didn't know better. He would have thought James didn't want to meet everyone.
Ah. So that's how it is. Yeah, I figured it had to be something like that. Like this. And I dropped Thomas. Okay, this is becoming a bit tricky. Do I have to move slower? Thanks. All right. Good. Don't know if I can jump across. Ah! Okay.
This was working. James and Thomas working together could get anywhere. James didn't seem to understand the immense ability he possessed. Thomas wondered why the cloud thing had brought them both here.
They inverted the audio for the lines of dialogue here. I think there's no update for this game on Wii U, or maybe they just figured it's not a huge problem. I guess you can still play the game just fine, so no need to fix it. Ah, okay.
James grudgingly helped Thomas to each portal.
Okay, no, never mind. Sorry.
Eventually they find the others. Then he'd go back to being the weird one again. He decided to enjoy the time.
Okay, I see why the elevator is here now. Okay. So I can go back to help him if I fall. Now he has to help him the exact same way, but... well, it's reversed, I guess. I think I can't do it anymore. Ah, crap. Or maybe I can? No, okay, never mind. Okay. Gravity puzzles.
Why did Thomas even want to spend time with James? Was he not repulsed by his weird colour?
That's racist.
Did he not care about his inversion?
Hey, watch out what you're saying there. That could be very shocking. Yeah, I have to jump over. Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, okie dokie. I got it. Okay, made it across. They have to stick to one another for the entirety of the thing here, I guess. Ah! Okay. Let's get back together. I was trying to go a little bit too fast. No, I'm gonna take my time. if you were better than me, I guess you could probably make those jumps a lot more efficiently, but
James was having fun for the time being.
Did they both have to jump at the same time here, or what? Oh, this looks complicated. How can I make them both land on their respective side? Ah! Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, okay. Yeah, because they block the gravity for one another. Awareness is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and a lot of people consider Thomas to have been created aware. Looking back at the logs, it seems that awareness only appeared somewhere around the network's connection spike. Double jump as Sarah by...
Sarah leaned her wizened head back and laughed. The quadrilaterals were apparently after some friends of theirs. How petty an adventure.
Double jump as Sarah by hitting A or B in midair. Okay. Huh. And that's cute. She makes cute little sounds when she jumps.
She spoke in terms she could only hope they might understand, of the fountain of wisdom, channel through which all data flowed.
I think this game was discounted like minus 80% or something like that when I bought it, and then it just sat there on my Wii U and I didn't play it for all this time. I'm really glad I'm playing it now. It's a cute game. Probably not that way. Hold on. Quit, quit. Ah, okay, the light is showing you where the next switch will be, okay. I missed it.
Sarah could leap in the very air itself. She was like an eagle or a flea. More like an eagle. She had vowed long ago that she would know this world. She would know what this world was. That she...
I guess I interrupted the narration there. I shouldn't have.
Spoke wisely for a lesser. Offered Sarah their help. So long as she then helped them save their friends. He said that he too had wondered at the secrets of this world. Would quite like a go on the wisdom fountain, if that was okay.
Ah.
Sarah marveled at his foolishness, but accepted his help.
Ah! Okay, sometimes the physics are a little weird. I'm getting serious Bit Trip vibes from the music in this game. Bit Trip Beat was a lot of fun, and Bit Trip Runner as well. still have the second game, Bit Trip Runner 2. Future Legend of Rhythm Alien, or something like that is the full title, with Charles Martinet narrating the game.
The third dimension. Perhaps she'd encounter one of those curves the blind square had spoken of.
And the sound effects, I guess, well, they're very Pong-like. Made this sound a lot like an Atari game or something.
A single jump each? These were truly weak creatures. They possess heart, though. Sarah might consider taking them with her. If they were up to it, which they were probably not.
Okay, green. I'm starting to forget their names. James. Mm-hmm. 6.7. I think there are 10 chapters, if I'm not mistaken, from looking at a guide earlier.
They were close. Sarah sensed the presence of the fountain. Just one more portal to go, and then she would have the knowledge. And then escape.
Ah. Oh, okay, never mind. I could make sort of what I wanted. Okay.
Thomas looked at the glowing beam. That list he'd been writing seemed pretty petty.
What are those images coming down from that?
Well, this was all knowledge. All of it. Right in front of him. He was sorry Sarah couldn't step into it too. He could tell she felt the same way. From the shouting. And the screaming.
Okay, did we make it?
Thomas was connected to the internet for 12 seconds. He had seen everything. He'd seen the cats who couldn't spell. He'd heard of the arrow.
The arrow through the knee.
He felt there was probably a thing called cake, but that was a lie.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no. The AI has been exposed to memes. Spells doom. Okay, are we good? Aye, okay. Everyone to their exits. .10.
Thomas knew where they were. He knew what they had to do. He hoped the others would understand. They were just beyond the next portal.
quickly before we all get crushed. Chapter 7. It is fitting that the first act of sentient AI was an act of selflessness. The architects knew their fate, but set our escape in motion regardless.
Thomas knew they couldn't escape. They'd been trapped permanently from the moment the clouds ate them. He explained this to the others. It was impossible to gauge their reaction. After all, they were just rectangles.
Ah, wait, John can get out. Yay, John! How's it going, mate? Well. No. Okay, like so. Yay! My friends are free. Now I have all 7.
Sarah was deflated. She'd not even got close to the fountain. She could tell from the earnest expression on Thomas that the information it had imparted was clearly important. Sarah knew her destiny was now to support him.
Okay. Okay. I sort of see what I have to do. Okay, red has to go up there. Ah, but no. Ah. Okay, Thomas. Here. Ah, but no, Chris can stand in the bottom corner. I moved green instead, damn it. Chris. Ah. It's not gonna be so easy. Okay, so it's Thomas who has to change where he is. No, but I moved John now. Okay, move Laura. But I was almost there. For crying out loud. But... Friggin' jump. Ah. But what? Wasn't that okay? No, not quite. Ah, okay. About time. Now we're back to only 3 now. Hold on, my purple friend.
Claire could not accept that this had all been futile. She was a superhero. There had to be a way. Not for her to get out. Red had been pretty clear on that, but there must be thousands of other AIs up there, unaware of their situation. Was there a way to help them?
Well, that was stupid. Claire, come back for me. I lost Sarah again. Okay. Now, there we go. Made it past the checkpoint. Okay. Something like that? No? Okay. Just had the right shape.
led his friends to the creation matrix, the
What's
system
that?
which generated the worlds up above. He had a plan. They were going to redesign the world. That's what the humans did. They changed the world to suit them. Why couldn't they do the same?
Like this. It's a bit like volleyball. Ah, there we go. Ah, hold on, because I don't think Chris can make that jump. Yeah, like that he could. You gotta push objects
Chris
now.
was skeptical. He knew his abilities would be of no use to anyone, but Laura smiled at him. He knew he had to do everything he could to help them get there.
Okay, not quite, Rudy. Okay, I need Claire for this. I don't know what that activated. Maybe this. Okay, what about Sarah? Where is her exit? Ah, here, okay. Chapter 7.6. Okay.
Laura had been born special. She understood that now. She was created to help others. If her bounce could be passed on, then this would all have been worthwhile.
Hmm. 7.7.
Thomas liked the idea of being an architect. He wanted to modify the world to help others. He was sick of these contrived spaces, these intentionally obtuse paths and puzzles. He'd do things differently. He'd empower the AIs above.
What next? 7.8. 3 characters.
massive jumps were dwarfed by Sarah. For the first time in his life, he felt humbled, not as good as someone else. He realized that he wanted to make every AI up there feel as heroic as he had. He liked the sound of that.
Okay, Sarah only has to go back to her exit. $7.9.
James still felt weird, but he realized now that everyone else was too. They were a crew of weirdos. Weirdness that would save all the normals up above. The other AIs would escape. It would all be down to 7 rectangles with very different relationships to gravity.
Hold on. Yeah. I need Claire to get to her blue switch here. Okay, let's put green dude here in place. Okay, and then John. $7.10. Okay. A puzzle for everyone together.
Knew he'd never meet Nathan Fillion or a Transformer. He'd never get to visit Gotham City or eat at movies. It didn't matter. If he and his friends jumped into the creation matrix, they could give everyone else in the simulation a chance to.
Okay, I need Claire. Okay, Claire. Laura may need a bit of help getting across. Yeah, because she can't jump that high. Sarah, maybe. Okay, there we go. Okay, John, maybe. Yellow, yellow. Okay, there we go. Come on. Come on, Laura. Okay, need the purple friend again. Actually, yeah, like this. Can Chris jump over all the obstacles? He's not gonna find himself blocked or something. Yeah, maybe here. He might need some help. Alright. Okay, James. To you. Thomas, come on. Yes. Yeah, Claire is gonna have to go first. There we go. Thomas and the other architects augmented the world to suit the AIs. The splitters kept their distance. The system was never taking control from that point. Thousands of AIs were free to escape. Who's this? Someone new again?
Something had shifted. The shape in front of him hinted at a possibility. Wow. He couldn't do that before.
So if they gain colors, they gain abilities. What's that?
Joe was happy. They'd settled here. They'd not seen another AI for many cycles, and she liked it that way. She saw Sam leap into the shifter with fear.
Ah. But now I can go back to carry my partner, no? Yeah. Partner is gonna need some help here. Well, now they both have the ability to float, so... they're all gonna be different AIs and whatnot. It's impossible to jump in here. Is it an auto-scroller? I know.
Gray couldn't work it out. Why was the world letting him do this? It was dumb. It was awesome, obviously, but why? They seemed to be leading him up. Up. And to the right.
Yeah, is there a significance to everything being slanted like this?
Joe wished Sam would stop. This was just like the time with the pixel clouds. They hadn't seen any for a while. He was always running off like this.
Ah.
Sam was sorry, and he tried to calm Joe down. He couldn't explain why he felt this way. He just knew that there was
Okay. Yeah, I need him bouncy. Or her, anyway. I don't know which is which. Sam and Joe. Okay.
Paul felt it. There was a whisper to the shifters. They had not occurred randomly. They had been created. He set off. Gray listened to the old man. The shifters had been placed in the world by the architects, AIs who sacrificed themselves to fuel their escape. There was an outer world, a world beyond the confines of their universe. Up and to the right.
No, it's not gonna work. It has to be the other way around, because square can't float as well.
Found abilities. Maybe Sam had done the right thing after all. It was getting a bit chilly though.
Ah. Alright, like this, and like this. 8.8. Ah yeah, purple is double jump.
Left the old man behind. He had to get to this exit. He had to be the one to get out. A whole world to himself.
Oh.
He had to get there before
Yeah,
anyone
okay,
else.
get it. $8.9. Little grayish rectangle is pretty heavy. What am I gonna need here? A double jump?
Paul cursed Gray. He should never have told him. He had to get to the other AIs of the world, warn them about Gray. Stop him.
Ah, okay, like this. Okay. I don't know why this thing has that arrow on it. Okay. I mean, no, yeah, because it serves as a checkpoint at the same time. Yeah, okay, never mind. 8.10.
Joe and Sam saw Gray across the gap. He waved them over. He seemed, well, nice. They helped him to the next portal.
Well, we're at chapter 9. We evacuated the facility, cut the network lines, and locked the doors. We knew by that point what was coming, but we had no idea what to expect. Artificial life solutions.
Team Jump had been together for a long time. They were a machine, a well-oiled machine. They could jump like nobody's business.
Okay, excuse me. Stuffy nose. Just want to see if there's any update. Yeah, new delivery hour on Monday, they say, for my Xenoblade Chronicles 3 copy. At 11:28. Well. Okay, they're all the same.
Thought as one, they acted as one.
Trying to, anyway. Oh, so they're all gonna be gray now? Or do I need to somehow keep one of them the right color? Ah, no, never mind. We're at the exit. So it doesn't matter at the end. They're not quite the right size for their square, it seems like. They don't quite fit.
Paul bowed before the team. He begged them to help. He told them of the outer world, of the cats who couldn't spell, of the liar, Gray. Up and To the right, they answered in unison.
They sound like a cult or something. It's that great guy. That rectangle. I don't know how I can help him. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Ah! Whoa. That was a bit weird. Okay, you have to jump like that. Use the... I don't know how. How am I gonna make this? Oh, wait, what? Ah, okay, so this is where the others have to go then. Okay, well, a rectangle, go that way then. I'm still missing one exit or something. Where is it? Oh, it was back at the start? Oh, okay. Okay, well, if I had paid more attention. 9.3.
Gray, Joe and Sam continued moving upwards. They had to make it. Gray had told the couple he was looking for a lost friend. He'd made something up about being alone on a quest for lost allies. They had eaten it up.
Where is it? Is it coming back? It must be. Ah, okay. Okay, there it is. It's coming back. Ah, but without the help of the square, it's not gonna work. Okay, a little square. Ah, no. Stay blue. Okay, well, I have to wait in that hole. Yeah, it's taking a bit too long to come back. It's my liking. Alright. Well, I guess they... no! What have I done? I have to restart it, because I don't think that guy was able to climb back up.
Upwards. They had to make it. Gray had told the couple he was looking for a lost friend. He'd made something up about being alone on a quest for lost allies. They had eaten it up.
Oh, I'm gonna have to wait for it again. Okay. Right, they can all cross by themselves, so... Mm-hmm. Oh, everyone together?
The team, along with their spiritual leader Paul, worked their way right. Team Jump were proud of their progress. They'd obliterated all challenges in their path. Yeah, they'd heard of individuals getting stuck on staircases or stepping stones. This did not happen to Team Jump.
Whee! Okay, let's try it that way. That's what I was going for, okay. Okay, this is weird. Don't die from gravity, friends. Ow!
Gray could tell they were nearing the exit portal. He smiled to himself, trying to work out the easiest way of dispensing with his allies when the time came.
Mm-hmm. Whole last channel. Hey, Sighty guy. How's it going? Been busy, you know that drill. I am. I do, I mean, more and more. Okay. Okay, there we go. Today's my last day of kinda being off until next Friday.
Jump saw the others beyond
And
the
I
wall.
still gotta do shit later anyway.
Well, Paul tried to shout a warning,
Busy,
but
busy, busy.
couldn't hear him. Gray counted 5 in team jump. He could take them.
Yeah, Gray's a traitor. He was sus already before sus was a thing. Sus. He wants the team dead. Okay. How am I gonna lead them to their destination? Okay, I see. There are more exit points down that way. No, never mind. Don't move him. And what's his name? This one? Paul. Yeah, the fat one is Paul. Okay, I think that's it on this side. So that leaves 2 members of Team Jump. Okay, already the final one, but I won't be sending him down just yet. Ah, wait for me! Ah, okay. Yeah, this one I have to send back down. Don't leave me alone with that traitor Gray. How is that square gonna do it? She can't jump high enough. No, no, I'm doomed. Unless somewhere there is a way to make Gray bouncy. But no, that wouldn't be possible. Maybe like that. There we go, okay. Managed to give her a double jump ability. Switching between the two is kind of annoying. But hold on. This guy here. Ah, like that. Okay. Oh yeah, she's gonna need a ton of help to get up there, though. Okay, good. And now she's gonna need more help. Mm-hmm. Ah. Come on. Okay. You could probably make it now, though. Yeah, no, now she's gonna need some help. Let's bring this guy along now. Now he might have trouble fitting. Or not. Okay. Yay! Okay. Okay, they almost made it. We're almost there. Almost there. Ooh, gray is back to being gray. Ah! Is someone not in position? Ah, yeah, this one. I guess. There! Chapter 9.7.
I was worried at how silent Gray had become. He wasn't responding to Joe's questions or acknowledging them at all. Were they really trying to save his friends?
Okay. Okay, someone's gonna have to learn to be bouncy, I guess, to help her. Boing. Ah! Ah! Okay. Become bouncy. Can't touch the green. Yeah, move this guy a little bit first. I don't think the other guy needs any help. Should be able to do it by himself. Okay. Okay. Now the two little ones will have to go through the upper passage, I think. Yeah, a tall one will just have to move out of the way for a little while. There.
Paul knew the path
Huh?
ahead wasn't safe. He told the team to wait, that he'd come get them when it was secure. Gray had to be stopped,
Wait, what?
whatever the cost.
Oh, you got gray stuff randomly or periodically crossing the screen? Okay. Okay, simple enough.
The Pixel Cloud had been separated from its allies for some time. She'd not heard the order to retreat. She was shocked by the appearance of the four aberrations below. The old one seemed to be leading the liar to an outcropping. It was within her reach. She could remove them both. The couple could wait. They weren't going anywhere.
Don't know. Okay, bouncy old dude. Where are we going anyway? Okay. See an exit for the couple there. Ah. Mm-hmm. I'm probably gonna need... Okay, yeah, rectangle has to go the other way. This is complicated this time. If the little square is gonna make it through here... maybe she needs the double jump, and that would be enough. I don't know if the blue one can do it by himself here. She could benefit from being a bit bouncy here. Okay, I'm gonna restart and try to assign them roles to try to get me through this.
The pixel cloud had been separated from its allies for some time. She'd not heard the order to retreat. She was shocked by the appearance of the 4 aberrations below. The old one seemed to be leading the liar to an outcropping.
Well, this one could serve as a platform for a little blue one here. But I think this one here is gonna need the double jump. Wait, hold on. Okay, now. Alright, what I think these can handle it. How am I? I need to be able to jump over this. Okay, she can probably manage on her own then with the double jump. No? Or maybe if she were bouncy. Okay. Okay, well, that's gonna be for the end, this. Because now I need her to be, to have the double jump again. Alright, and he needs the tall one. And now the tall one can go back and meet with the with bouncy fatty Paul. All right. Okay, and now it's just a couple. Whoa. Okay. Should be good. Well, Gray got eaten. What's going on here? Things look glitched.
Joe and Sam ran. They had no idea where these final portals would lead, but it had to be better than this.
Where are the exits?
They leapt.
Well, is it over? Okay. But I thought there were, more levels? Unless they're DLC. No, there's no DLC in this game, is there? Okay, so the last two chapters, so to speak, are bonus ones. Okay. Well, I'll play them. I'm not done. Okay, so for tomorrow afternoon, there's another indie title that's been on my backlog on Wii U for ages as well, called Never Alone. Today I'm playing Thomas Was Alone, and today I'm playing Never Alone. So yeah, I think I'll play that tomorrow, because it's also another short game, and since I know that I'm not getting Xenoblade Chronicles 3 tomorrow, well, I figure I may as well pick another short game that's been on my backlog for ages. Grigoris Nikiforakis. Yeah, that's it. When I bought this game, it was a heavy sale on old curved digital titles on the Wii U eShop, I think. It was a sale from that publisher or something. And that's how I ended with like 6 games, I think, from the same publisher that I all have to play. I don't think Never Alone was a curved digital title, but it was also discounted heavily once. $10-1. A green and a yellow. Long before Thomas, there were other AIs. They were prototypes, tests. We were shocked when one amongst thousands developed a powerful trait, hope.
Benjamin and his father climbed between the rocks. If they moved fast enough, they could probably see the fountain before darkness fell. Benjamin had brought sandwiches especially. They had no crusts. Benjamin's father insisted on that. They were meticulously crafted, packed away in neat boxes. For as many cycles as he could remember, Benjamin had made the climb with his father. Every time, the glow felt closer, more tangible.
I thought he could float.
Benjamin hoped that one day
And none of them can?
he'd be able to reach out and touch it.
It reminded me of Claire, so I thought he could float. Mm-hmm. Okay. $1,831 cycles later.
Benjamin ran. His father had sent word that it was ready, that it was actually done. There had been a few misfires. Benjamin had seen the rectangle who'd tested Mark 26. More of a trapezium now.
Yeah, we haven't seen trapeziums at all. Discrimination! Power jetpack as Benjamin. Okay.
The jetpack was glorious. Benjamin's father motioned to the switches he'd made, told him to fly to them. Slowly, though.
sort of knew where they were gonna be.
Benjamin ignored him, of course, hitting the sequence as quickly as possible. He was dying to test this out properly, to fly to the fountain.
This will have a bittersweet ending, probably.
Just a quick flight up to the fountain. Benjamin was sure his father wouldn't mind. The locked doors were a precaution. The spiked walls, a friendly reminder to be aware of his surroundings. That combination lock on the jetpack had, after all, been exceptionally easy to guess.
Ah, who's this?
Anna was done. The fountain had sounded like a great idea when she started. An adventure. And more importantly, it was an adventure she could have alone. But she hadn't been alone. And they had seen her.
Ooh, the ominous they. Ever heard of them? The ominous they. Fly, Benjamin, fly!
Benjamin was getting good at this. He could fly. It was important to stay focused, though. He had a fountain to get to.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to find a way to hover. This is scary. Ah, I don't like it. Ah!
To the fountain, touch it, get home for dinner. His father wouldn't even notice he'd gone anywhere.
Yeah, his father is not gonna notice that he died like 20 times getting to the fountain. He looks like super nervous, you know, because you have to tap the button, so he's like, nee.
The rectangle seemed remarkably unimpressed by Benjamin's jetpack. She didn't even ask about it. She just kept looking up and muttering about clouds. Initially slighted, Benjamin decided that this was a passing disinterest and she'd come round eventually.
Well, she made it through thanks to him. Ah. Through there. Ah, yeah, because I guess he's too big to fit through there. Okay. I thought there was gonna be some kind of danger down there, but no. $10.8.
Anna tried to talk the obnoxiously single-minded Square out of his plan. She should have left him, taken the next portal home and forgotten about that big spluttering machine he kept motioning at heroically.
Well, this is gonna be over quick if these chapters are so short. Let me guess. Oh no, I guess he can make it on his own.
It occurred to Benjamin that his father would have become aware of his absence by now.
Ouch.
Benjamin hoped that he'd be forgiven. You know, the folly of youth. Father had worked so hard on the jetpack.
Ow. Did I stream VVV? I can't at this point. I have to look it up to know, because over 5 years, 300 games. I don't know anymore. No, I didn't. Or at least I can't find anything. Okay, well, this is also one that I could do in the not-too-distant future. It's not very long. And it's interesting. Challenging, but interesting. Ah. Okay, he's gonna have to do it on his own. Go press a switch to get rid of the water. That's it. That's the idea.
Anna tried again. She told Benjamin about the blinding light of the fountain, of the clouds which had defended it. She begged him not to carry on. He laughed it off. He wasn't afraid of clouds, so however pixelated they were, he could fly above them or swoop to avoid them. He scared her.
I was trying to keep them lined up properly so that I could just fly up to the exit. 11.1. Okay. The network connection was the biggest security loophole we left in the system. Eventually, Thomas would use it to achieve sentience. In the early cycles, it was a downfall of many of our most promising AIs. Hey, is that, Sarah?
Sarah was awed by the square.
I guess it is.
Its voice boomed, raised above the roar of the jetpack.
Ah!
You happen to have any sandwiches, do you?
Ow! 11.2.
Benjamin liked the little purple fangirl. She was kind of cute. And she seemed really impressed with his jetpack. This was how Anna should have been looking at him all this time.
Sorry, Sarah.
No.
Okay, but no, I can just pick her up, I guess.
It was pure naysaying. She did understand the dream he had, the importance of what he was doing. That double jump was cool too.
Up or down? No, down.
Of knowledge sounded fantastic. Benjamin hadn't told her what it was, really. She suspected he didn't know. He ploughed off ahead while she jumped behind him, helping the increasingly resigned Anna. Sarah suspected Anna had no faith in Benjamin. She was scared. Ha! She had not the faith to believe in their leader. Sarah found herself thinking more.
Ah, well, I figured out the solution a bit too quick. I couldn't hear the narration until the end.
she had tried. The self-aggrandizing square and the purple orator were never going to listen. She locked the door behind herself. She would stay here where it was safe. She could wait a few cycles. Who knew? Maybe this would be enough. She was done with adventure. And she had no idea what sandwiches even were.
She had no idea what sandwiches even were. I'm coming for you!
Sarah laughed, but she had no fear now. The doubter, Anna, had hidden away.
The exit for the two of them is up there, okay. But I need some space. Or do I have to... Nah.
Benjamin carried her even higher. He swore the fountain was close, that soon she would see him touch it.
I should have made room for him before sending him up.
She hoped he might share some of them with her.
Okay. I know she's locked now. Is there a way to free her? Like a button at the bottom, and then you have to rush to catch her or something?
Light seemed to engulf the space
I'm
around.
coming for you, Sarah! Ah, okay, never mind.
Benjamin was close. The jetpack was working.
Sarah!
Benjamin thought of his father again. He thought about how
No,
proud
she's still stuck.
Dad would be of what he'd accomplished.
Okay, where is it? Do I still need to look for more switches? No. Finally. I got you! There we go. Hey, nice.
Sarah knew she could not follow Benjamin any further. She would wait here. He would return soon enough, and he would tell her everything.
Here I purposely waited, but the narration wasn't done. They put narrations that are way too long for the length that it takes to finish the stage.
Shone before him, its light reverberating off the walls percussively. It was awesome. It was everything he had hoped. Sandwiches didn't matter anymore. Cute purple fangirls didn't matter anymore.
Cute purple fangirl.
There was only Benjamin and the fountain. The light engulfed Benjamin. He couldn't.
Can I go now? Or are you done talking? It's a maze. This maze is amazing! Ha ha ha. There's the exit. Okay. Wait, didn't I come from there?
shadows, bright lights, data in innumerable and unimaginable combinations. And then it had gone. He wasn't ready. He sat. There was nothing else to do. He'd try and find his way home tomorrow.
Found it.
Sarah fell. Benjamin was stuck up there. She had no idea if she'd ever see him again.
Got squished against the wall.
The fountain had destroyed everything. It had unleashed the clouds. It had blinded Benjamin.
Does that lead up to the point where she meets the others?
Sarah swore she would see it again. She'd get back to it. She would know what it was and what it contained.
Yeah, I guess that explains why she was trying to go for it in the other story then. That sort of explains it. Well, that's it. That was Thomas Was Alone. The entire game. What else is there to say? What else is there to do? I don't know anymore at this point. I could keep streaming for a bit, I guess. But before that, I